And thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're learning more about the death of a woman found inside a burning home in Tyler. Arrest documents reveal Gregory Barganier admitted to dousing his girlfriend with gasoline ahead of the fire and explosion, which was captured by a nearby surveillance camera. KLTV7's April Peardon has the update.
Is the moment a home explosion on Shady Trail in Tyler got caught on camera on Monday. A neighbor witness says his Ring camera captured Gregory Barganier leaving his residency moments before the explosion.
Investigation by the fire department at the scene, which determined that the fire was set intentionally.
The Tyler Fire Department responded to the residential area at 3:35 a.m. Monday.
When the fire was put out, they did locate a deceased female in a back bedroom.
That woman identified through the investigation as Marlene McKetchin. A neighbor claims McKetchin and Barganier have had disagreements before.
About 20 minutes after the fire was called in, the suspect in this case showed up at the sheriff's department and admitted to having a disturbance at the house with the female there.
According to the affidavit, Barganier admitted to throwing gasoline on his girlfriend, but told investigators the fire did not start before he left the scene. The incident had started with an argument over his eviction, with Barganier claiming that McKetchin was holding a lighter in her right hand and flickering it as she threw cups of gasoline at him. According to the document, when Barganier was questioned again, his story did not line up.
Based on everything found, all the evidence at the house, and statements made by him and evidence we found from other witnesses and cameras. At that point in time, we got an arrest warrant for him for murder.
Barganier is currently at the Smith County Jail with a $750,000 bond. April Peardon, KLTV 7 News.
And looking at his criminal history, Barganier was convicted in Florida back in 1981 for first-degree murder and spent 26 years in prison.